Good evening and welcome to Easy Friday. Tonight, the Senator for Busia Kioria Mtata has moved to court alongside others to challenge the finance bill. That bill is supposed to be discussed by the National Assembly next week Tuesday after it resumes from recess. Also tonight, Pastor Paul Mackenzie of the Shakahola massacre will spend nights in police custody for another 6 days as the prosecution seeks to finalize on its investigations against the pastor. We have more details lined up for you on Easy Friday. Welcome to this broadcast. Here are tonight's highlights. President William Ruto says security operation in bandit-prone counties will continue, indicating his government's commitment to stamp out the vice. Busia Senator Kioria Mtata and 4 others moved to court to challenge constitutionality of a finance bill 2023. And men urged to be at the forefront in protecting girls and women against incest and other forms of gender-based violence. And Wangeshi is our sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria, stepping in for June Kago. Now, President William Ruto has assured that the government is committed to ending banditry in the country to ensure all children go to school. The head of state added the security operation in bandit-prone counties will continue until all schools that were shut due to insecurity are reopened.
State House, Nairobi, Friday morning.
Nuru, we are sorry. And as they will be educated on this condition.
Winners of the 2023 Kenya National Drama and Film Festival showcased their creative talent in the traditional state concert. And they did not disappoint. After the electrifying, educating and entertaining performance, President William Ruto took the opportunity to assure that all schools shut due to insecurity will be reopened.
Is inspired to make sure that all our children go to school. I want to tell you, we have mobilized the police and the army to go to the North Rift.
The president also pledged to support the creative arts sector in the country by creating a continuum through which gifted youth secure dream careers after their studies.
And I want to tell our young girls, young children here today that you too have a future if you can perfect, if you're disciplined, if you can perfect the arts space.
While commending the students for their performances, the head of state directed the Ministries of Education and Ministry of Sport to fast-track operationalization of talent centers in all counties. Leaders present, who included the Deputy President, noted the important role played by creative arts in highlighting society values and vices.
I want to urge our young people, the content creators, to continue having social interventions to help the Kenyan people.
It will not end here. We want to take it to another level because we know the kind of opportunities we have in a creative heart.
We have been lacking a pipeline, a conveyor belt that can convey these talents from this raw stage to a point where they can be nurtured, monetized, and marketed.
17 learning institutions showcased their best drama, poems, and dramatized dances. The concert also provided a platform for talented students to connect with theater industry professionals for inspiration and mentorship.
It has been a day full of color, pomp, and great talent. The Kenya National Film and Drama Festival gives this young blood an opportunity to ventilate, showcase their talent, and express themselves on their way to becoming responsible and decent young women and men in future.
For Easy Friday, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Raw talent on display there. Thank you very much, Ben Troy. Let's now shift focus to security matters now. And the government is set to reopen the immigration office in Garissa County to facilitate the issuance of critical documents to residents in the northeastern region. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kindiki Kithure says the government will also invest 20 billion shillings in the modernization of equipment and other facilities for various security agencies.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki said the immigration office in Garissa County will be reopened from 1st of July this year.
Tulikuwa na ofisi hapa ya uhamiaji ambayo ilifungwa. Nataka nitangaze ya kwamba tutafungua ofisi mpya ya kupeana passports za Kenya hapa Garissa kuanzia tarehe 1 mwezi ujao.
The immigration office was closed in 2014. To boost security in the region, the Cabinet Secretary said the government will invest 20 billion shillings in the modernization and the enhancement of security agencies.
Ili kuhakikisha kwamba maafisa wetu wako na magari yaliyolindwa, wako na mandege na wako na vifaa vya kujilinda katika mwili wakati wanaenda katika shughuli hii.
To address the incest and interborder clashes in the region, Kindiki said the government is working on long-term remedial measures.
I know we have a challenge between our border as Garissa and Isiolo County. When I meet with your leaders on Monday and when I come back in 2 weeks' time, we shall be able to provide a framework for engagement between Garissa and Isiolo to have a permanent solution to that problem.
Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
The National Assembly resumes its sittings on Tuesday, and top among its agenda is the Finance Bill 2023. And in a new twist, Busia Senator Okiya Omutata and 4 others have moved to the High Court to challenge the constitutionality of that bill. In a suit filed under a certificate of urgency at the Milimani Law Courts Friday, Omutata faults the executive for usurping the roles of both the taxman and Parliament.
Busia Senator Okiya Omutata has accused President William Ruto of forcing the finance bill on Kenyans. Senator Omutata in a lawsuit alleges the bill violates over 30 articles of the Constitution.
Behavior of the majority side in Parliament, which has gone into bed with the executive, and you can hardly see a distinction, you'll find that Parliament has lost its autonomy. Parliament has become a small appendix of the executive, and Parliament does what the executive wants.
Omutata is urging the court to prohibit the Speaker of the National Assembly from transmitting to the President the contentious Finance Bill 2023 if approved by Parliament.
We cannot just be taxing people and saying we have to pay debts, you have to do whatever. Let us audit the debts and reject those debts that did not benefit us. Only pay the debts that benefited us.
In the petition, Omutata is asking the government to make public the national debt, which he claims has been ballooned by over 3.7 trillion shillings. The housing levy has also been opposed in the petition, citing the proposed 3% is coercive and limits Kenyans the option in choosing their housing plans and how to use their monies.
There is no justification for taking money from one person and putting it in a pool and turning it into a lottery. A person has got the right to invest their money or to use their property the way they choose, as long as they don't violate the law.
Omutata and 4 other activists Eliud Matinde, Michael Otieno, Benson Odior and Blair Angima have sued the CS National Treasury, the Attorney General and the National Assembly. The Commissioner General of KRA is an interested party in the petition. Ruth Wamboi for Easy Friday.
And as Omutata moved to court, National Assembly Leader of Majority Kimani Ichung'wah is assuring Kenyans that the proposed Finance Bill 2022-2023 is not as punitive as propagated by the opposition. Speaking ahead of the debate scheduled next week, Ichung'wah says there's a spirited effort to mislead Kenyans on the contents of the Finance Bill, but the truth shall be known during the debate.
The National Assembly is set to resume plenary sittings on Tuesday to a full tray of business. Key business awaiting MPs include consideration of finance bill that will provide for revenue generation measures and appropriations bill that will explain government's expenditure for 2022-2023. Speaking ahead of next week's debate on the finance bill, National Assembly Leader of Majority Kimani Ichung'wah said Kenyans have been treated to misinformation and propaganda about the bill.
The proposal before Parliament in the finance bill is reducing the rental income tax payable by landlords from 10% to 7.5%. Nobody is telling landlords in this country and tenants that tax on rental income is coming down, and therefore the landlord will have more disposable income in his hands. The landlord could and should lower the rent payable by tenants to the landlords, and they will be paying less in taxes.
The Leader of Majority accusing the opposition of attempting to interfere with independence and procedures of Parliament by demanding withdrawal of finance bill. Ichung'wah insists the finance bill 2022-2023 will lower the cost of living, contrary to claims by Azimio One Kenya.
I call on Kenyans to be keen to listen to the debate, and I do hope our colleagues will not bring the drama we have seen out there into the House, and they will come to engage soberly on the proposals contained in the finance bill so that we accurately inform Kenyans where is it that we are bringing the cost of living down by reducing taxes, somewhere the finance bill is removing taxes altogether.
Nominated Senator Gloria Oroba, the sponsor of a bill that seeks to compel government to provide free sanitary towels to all school girls, supporting the proposal to tax imported sanitary towels, saying it will uplift local manufacturers.
I strongly support that decision, and I strongly support the fact that we are saying, let us reduce on imported sanitary towels because we have the capacity, we even have the environment to locally manufacture.
The National Assembly Finance Committee is expected to table its report on finance bill next week after conducting public participation on the legislation. Gishoki Washira, Easy Friday.
From the precincts of Parliament to Kilifi, and suspected Kilifi cult leader Paul Mackenzie, his wife Rhoda Maweu, and 17 other co-accused persons will continue to be held in police custody for another 6 days, a Shanzu Law Court magistrate has ruled. The 19 are being held in connection with the deaths of over 240 people whose bodies have been exhumed from his Chakama ranch in Shakahola forest. They had already spent 30 days in police custody.
Under tight security, Paul Mackenzie and 18 co-accused arrived at the Shanzu Law Courts. In the court docks, they awaited for the Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Yusuf Shikanda to begin the hearing. The Director of Public Prosecution had requested the court to allow them to continue holding the suspects for another 60 days, pending conclusion of investigations, as even a new affidavit was filed by investigating officer Inspector Rafael Wanjohi to support the extension.
And before this matter was mentioned this morning, they were still in lawful custody, such that if they were still in lawful custody and they have not been released from that lawful custody by the orders of this Honorable Court, and the Honorable Court is seized of an application within the period in which they are still in lawful custody, then we are properly before you.
However, in their argument, the defense team led by George Karaoke opposed the request to extend the detention, saying the state ought to have filed a new application.
The state is treating this affidavit as an appeal to this ruling. This court cannot sit on its own appeal, Your Honor. And the state is aware of that.
Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Yusuf Shikanda ruled that the state is right to request for additional days and gave the defense team a 6-day period to file their responses to the request by the DPP.
Having been served with the documents today, it is only fair that the respondents be given time to respond.
I will proceed to grant them time as they will propose. Since the respondents have been in custody and there is an application for extension of their continued detention, I find it illogical to order for their release pending the filing of their responses to the application. For avoidance of doubt, the respondents shall remain in custody pending the filing of their responses.
The matter will come back on June 7th. For Easy Friday from Mombasa County, I am Ann Mburu.
In the meantime, men have been urged to take up protective and leadership roles in the society to help weed out forms of gender-based violence, such as incest. According to data from the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, incest contributes to the triple threat of new HIV infections, sexual gender-based violence, and pregnancies among adolescents in Kenya.
Speaking in Nairobi at the launch of the Stop Incest campaign, National Syndemic Disease Control Council Chief Executive Officer Dr. Ruth Masha regretted that several cases of incest have gone unreported due to shame associated with it, and therefore urged men to play an active role in protecting teenagers.
The Stop Incest campaign officially launched.
The report launched by the council in conjunction with Protecting Life movement indicated that in the year 2022, 219,000 girls were impregnated before motherhood age as a result of sexual gender-based violence.
We also need to think about how do we help men to use their power, to use their positions positively. So if it is a chief, sub-chief, they are not colluding. They are not sitting down in a kangaroo court and asking the uncle to bring cows here and another one and say the matter is over.
Police recorded 660 cases of GBV-related incest cases between 2018 and the year 2020. Of these victims, 593 were female, representing 89.9%, while 67 were males, representing 9.02%. The GBV Recovery Center also recorded 160 cases between the year 2019 and 2021, with biological fathers and uncles being the highest perpetrators. Besides pregnancy, HIV and other sexual transmitted diseases, victims of incest suffered physical and psychological trauma. Stigma associated with incest breeds conspiracy of silence that has posed hurdles in dealing with the vice. Those handling children in schools and places of worship are being empowered to help curb incest.
We must have people who are looking after children being protected. We must empower them with the knowledge that if you get that child, what do you do with her? We have a lot of NGOs that deal with the children and children's welfare. Look at the areas where you can collaborate with them. You may not agree with all their things, but at least look at an area where you can work with them and rescue our children.
The Sexual Offences Act of the year 2006 criminalizes incest and prescribes a life sentence where the victim is a child under 18 years of age with or without consent. Michael Mondiga for Easy Friday.
Data deletion remains a challenge to the majority of organizations involved in the collection and processing of public information. Poor deletion has resulted in such information landing in unintended hands. Due to this, the Office of Data Commissioner is asking data collection organizations to register to be guided on erasing information that is no longer in use. Story in a bit, but in the meantime, public servants are being urged to be conscious of a state of environment and take deliberate steps to ensure they actively participate in conservation efforts. Public Service Gender and Affirmative Action Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa says the country can only achieve the 15 billion tree cover target set by the government if all ministries collaborate in championing the cause.
At the Lekaruki area in the Ngong Forestry Station, Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa led a tree planting exercise joined by the National Youth Service officers and members of the community.
The move will help address a diverse effect of the climate change that Kenya is facing and cushion our people against drought and food security.
Well, the team managed to plant 3,000 seedlings of the African olive variety. The initiative, part of the ongoing nationwide campaigns that seeks to have 15 billion trees planted by the year 2032.
Kuna kazi mingi sana ya kufanya. Ukishapanda mti, hautauachilia jinsi ulivyo, tutaulinda ili ukaweze kukua, tutaukuza huo mti.
Tree planting also reduces pollution, thus making the life of the future generations secure.
The seedlings planted on the 8-acre parcel of land are donations from the Kenya Forest Service. The tree planting exercise is part of the activities leading up to the Africa Public Service Day, which will be marked on the 21st of June. The clarion call in complementing the government efforts remains to be that everyone should exercise their individual role in not only planting a tree, but also growing it to ensure that future generations benefit from the hard work done today. Yusufar reporting for Easy Friday in the county of Kajiado.
Let me take you to a story we had highlighted earlier. Data deletion remains a challenge to the majority of organizations involved in the collection and processing of public information. Poor deletion has resulted in such information landing in unintended hands. Due to this, the Office of Data Commissioner is asking data collection organizations to register to be guided on erasing information that is no longer in use.
Data collectors and processors from Murang'a County got a chance to learn principles governing the collection, storage and processing of information.
There is a fee on being a data protector. For me, that one is very interesting because I don't know whether there was any public participation, and also I need to understand very clearly about what determines that fee. The setting of that fee.
The social joints, all the clubs, increasingly you find in their social media platforms, they actually take pictures of the patrons who have gone to the different clubs, and they post it on their social media. Some of them are not so good because people are caught in those compromising positions.
The Office of Data Protection Commissioner emphasizing on the need for registration of organizations that gather public information, especially in hospitality, healthcare, security and telecommunication, among other sectors.
So one of the things that we have undertaken as an office is to provide guidance notes. What guidance notes do is that they enable people to understand, especially data handlers, to understand what their obligations are specifically in different sectors. So the office has undertaken to do a guidance note for the private security agencies specifically, so that they can appreciate what their obligations are with respect to data and personal data that they deal with on a day-to-day basis.
With close to 5,000 government services headed for digitalization, according to President William Ruto, the Office of Data Protection Commissioner is asking you, data handlers and processors, to ensure you register with the office, not only to ensure compliance and credibility, but also not to miss out on business in future. Now, a similar exercise was also ongoing in Meru County. To you, Nancy.
Well, thank you so much, Zainab Said. And indeed, the data protection caravan was in Meru County, sensitizing data handlers on the importance of safeguarding the personal data that they interact with on a daily basis.
Boniface Mwiti is a resident of Meru County.
Hao watu wamekuwa wakinisumbua sana, wakinitumia message kama moja niko nayo hapa inasema, "Hi ma'am, tumia mwalimu 2250 aninunulie calculator na set books nne."
He is among many Kenyans who have received messages from con artists.
Nimeambiwa mtoto wangu ameanguka kwa shule na amevunjika hata mguu. Sasa tunaambiwa utume pesa haraka ili mtoto aweze kupelekwa shule. Na mambo ya kushangaza, hata ukituma pesa, wakati ule mwingine ukienda kwa simu yako unakuta hata pesa yako yote imetolewa.
Ukikuja upande wa WhatsApp unapata mtu amekwambia hi, then from there unapata ni picha yako ametumia kukuambia hi. Then anaanza kutuma tena ma messages, anatumia marafiki, nisaidieni, sijui niko hospitali.
Kuna maprofesa, they know how to hack. Na wanapo hack unajipata ya kwamba umetuma pesa hata sile ulikuwa umejiwekea.
To address the increasing threat, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner continues to put on notice data handlers collecting and exposing personal data without consent.
It's not the institution that leaked, it was a human being. But liability, according to the Act, lies with the institution. Because
Time for us to take our first breather on Easy Friday, but don't go too far. We have more news lined up for you, including the latest in business and sports.
daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? Surrender unclaimed financial assets today and avoid the last-minute rush. Take advantage of penalties and fines waiver ending June 30th, 2023. Report and surrender unclaimed financial assets today. For more information, visit our website www.ufaa.go.ke/holders or contact us through holders@ufaa.go.ke or call us on 020-402-3000. Do not wait for the June 30th, 2023 deadline. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
To get Skizatune Hail Mary, dial *811 *963#.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
To get Hail Mary, dial *811 *963#. *811 *963#.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako. Cheza Loto Moto.
Naitwa Rose Ginga, natoka Githurai 45. Mimi ni mwanabiashara. Leo hii niko Loto Moto na mimi ndiye mshindi wa 100,000. Watu wangu wa Githurai, hata Nairobi mzima, leo hii mimi ni mshindi. Naomba zaidi mcheze, mnaweza kuwa mshindi kama mimi. Leo hii mimi na pesa.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number weka 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000. Lipa kisha subiri draw.
Welcome back. You're watching Easy Friday. The spouse of a deputy president, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has urged Kenyans not to stigmatize those suffering from mental illnesses. Speaking during a youth forum dubbed Sikika Youth Fest at the Mount Kenya University in Thika, Pastor Dorcas expressed concern over continued stigmatization of those suffering from mental illnesses.
Pastor Dorcas Rigathi says there is a need to demystify mental illness so that those that are suffering can have courage to talk to anyone around them.
If somebody is a drug addict or is addicted to whatever substance, we don't need to judge them. What we need is to see a way of getting them out. And that is what I've been championing, and especially for my boy children.
Meanwhile, Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, KUTRRH, has trained the first batch of 39 nurses specialized in cancer treatment and critical care.
Your willingness to adopt and continuously enhance your knowledge and skills will ensure that you deliver the highest standards of care to those who rely on you. Compassion, empathy, and cultural sensitivity are the hallmarks of exceptional nursing.
Elsewhere, Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza has launched a free mass vaccination program of livestock in the county and donated water pipes to various water projects in the county. In Nairobi, Akili Dada Foundation has partnered with the Association of Media Women in Kenya, AMWIC, to enhance the number of women taking up journalism as a career.
The basis of this conversation was guided by the data reported by International Media Support, which shows that women only make 24% of people who are heard, 46% of news stories reinforce gender stereotypes, while only 4% of stories challenge them. We are very keen on ensuring that we leverage on the media and recognize their power of influence, given that they have an essential role in promoting gender equality in the public domain.
So you then begin to know how to do your pitches to the media, which is very important because we want stories that make sense as media. And the NGOs also want their issues heard. So when you bring that combination together through a deliberate process, and who gains? The society gains. Our policymakers gain, because then there is something that is understood and we can vote on it, we can understand it.
And a section of political leaders in Kajiado County has agreed to unite for the sake of the county.
Juzi tumekuwa na mazungumzo mazuri. Mlango wangu uko wazi, nafasi zenu naziheshimu na zitambua, lakini wakora moja moja kwenda kuchochea watu, msilipe ushuru, msilipe land rates, hiyo haitakubalika.
Finally, Kenya National Highway Authority has moved to erect speed bumps, rubble strips and road sign along Nakuru-Nairobi highway to avert further loss of lives.
Tukisha pitisha ile budget ambayo saa hii tunapangilia, contractor atarudi, na akirudi priority yake ya kwanza ni kuhakikisha tumejenga daraja, tumetengeneza hizo underpass ndio watu wetu waweze kupitia.
Lucy Uside for Easy Friday.
In our weekly segment of My Culture, the Kamba community had shrines dubbed Ithembo or Madhembo, where they sacrificed, celebrated and worshipped a deity. As you on My Culture, we focus on Ithembo or Madhembo.
The Kamba believed in a monotheistic, invisible and transcendental god, Ngai or Mulungu, who lived in the sky, Yayani or Itone. The traditional Kamba perceived the spirits of their departed ones, the Aimo or Maimo, as the intercessors between themselves and Ngai Mombi, Mwatwangi or Mulungu. They were remembered in family rituals, offerings, and libations at individual altars. The community reserved space used as shrines, dubbed Ithembo or Mathembo. In the past, the community sacrificed, celebrated, and worshipped at the Ithembo. Present day, it serves more as a traditional symbol than a place of worship.
Na wanaanza kuabudu, na kuna mtu yule alikuwa anasakuliwa kuenda kuabudu. Sio watu wote walikuwa wakiingia kule, ni mahali patakatifu. Yule mzee alisakuliwa na kumaliza karibu mwaka mzima atangamani na watu wengine.
During drought, elders would prepare to lead the community in a sacrificing session to seek God's intervention. Before any activity took place at Ithembo, the trunk had to be oiled using fat extracted from cow blessings at the Ithembo. This would be followed by a feast. The meals would include food such as kiteke, which is ugali, and milk, among others. They would then leave sugarcane, meat, among others, at the shrine, as no one could consume them.
Kamba walikuwa na mila kikamba ya wanaita nzele, na hiyo nzele ndiyo alikuwa akitumia, anaweka ikiwa ni pombe, masiwa au damu ya ng'ombe yule amechinjwa, ndiyo alikuwa anaputia naye.
When plants were attacked by locusts, a sheep would be slaughtered and 2 of its ribs removed. A locust would then be crushed between the 2 ribs to symbolize the annihilation of the destructive insects.
Kwao ni wakati kuna kuwa kiangazi au kuwe na magonjwa fulani inakuja. Wakati huo ndio walikuwa wanakusanyika wazee na wanatafuta ng'ombe, mbuzi na chakula yote. aina ya chakula ikiwa ni mawele, mahindi, maragwe, kila aina ya chakula, na wanakuja nayo hapa na wanaanza kuabudu. Na kuna
other activities at the shrine included seeking God's help during floods and praying for the sick. Anyone who desecrates the shrine faces severe consequences from ancestors. Children above the age of 5 were not allowed to play around it.
Ilikuwa iluhusiwi kuingia wanawake. Wanawake iko sehemu yao walikuwa kwenda kuchezea ngoma. Wanaume wana sehemu yao ile wanakwenda kuketi. Na watoto wako hapo.
Elders highlight the dry branches that fell off the trees could not be used as firewood. Trees used as shrines included kitondo, mukoyo, mutondo, and muumo.
Na hiyo miti aina hiyo ina miti ile inatoa maji, inatoa maziwa. Idhembo ingewekwa kwa mti mkavu, ilikuwa inawekwa kwa mti inatoa maziwa.
Jackie Wambiru, My Culture.
Let's switch gears now and focus on some business. The government has identified 6 priority areas that will be supported to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, increase revenue for farmers, and stimulate economic activity. Speaking during the Presidential Economic Dialogue that brought together national and county governments as well as the private sector, President William Ruto said the government will allocate 200 billion shillings to the 6 value chains comprising cotton, pyrethrum, edible oil, leather, housing, and pharmaceuticals to spur economic growth.
The government plans to roll out a public-private partnership to enhance power distribution in the country. President William Ruto says increasing power access and efficiency will spur the manufacturing sector, which is a key pillar of the economy. The government plans to also increase taxes on a select number of imported items, especially those in the food and construction sector, to protect local manufacturers and create jobs. Pharmaceuticals companies setting up in Kenya will be offered incentives. To boost value addition, tea and coffee packaging materials will be exempted from VAT.
All packaging material. We are also removing taxes on all packaging material so that you and all the other people who are in that sector can package your tea, can package your coffee and sell it. Because I was told by you people in that sector that you could not package our tea locally. It was being packaged in all manner of places except in Kenya.
To further cut down on imports, the government has said it plans to start manufacturing of electric vehicles accessories locally to encourage the uptake of the vehicles and cut on petroleum imports by half.
And save ourselves the kind of money. We are spending $500 million every month to import our fuel products. We can cut that down by half if we go the direction that Goodman is saying, if we go the direction that we have put in our finance bill this year.
On affordable housing, President William Ruto says the private sector and other relevant stakeholders will sit at the board of the Affordable Housing Board to increase accountability of the project.
We want every other person to sit in the board that will manage the housing fund, so that we can all see. I mean, unless you're telling me as the Kenya Association of Manufacturers you don't trust yourselves, unless you're telling me you have a serious governance problem, you know, and if you do, you tell us so that we can help you sort it out.
Frederick Moki for Easy Friday.
The poor transition of graduate engineers to professional accreditation is the disconnect between theoretical learning and field needs. The Engineers Board of Kenya Graduate Engineers Internship Program Manager Engineer Samuel Abichi says Kenya has 2,500 registered professional engineers, pushing a lot of local development projects to foreign companies.
About 25,000 engineers have graduated from different fields in Kenya, but this reflects poorly on the number of fully certified and professional members of the field.
If we compare this with the UNESCO ratio that says that for a population of 10,000, we should have one engineer. It therefore means that our number is far much below the one prescribed by UNESCO.
A little bit of the curriculum in institutions so that it can be more hands-on, more practical, so that when people leave, they have an idea of what is happening apart from the theoretical aspect as well.
At a tenth of the total number of university graduates, just 2,500 engineers are professionally accredited by the regulatory body, limiting significantly the number of engineering professionals allowed to take up projects.
The problem with that is that when we go out to practice, you get some graduate engineers being engaged to supervise as infrastructural works that are going on.
It prepares one to be a professional engineer. Once you come out of the undergraduate, you are full of what you have been taught, the theory skills and everything. But now here we come one-on-one with the practicals, what is required for a proficient and a professional engineer.
The Engineers Board of Kenya is trying to boost these numbers through mentorship and postgraduate placement programs.
You know, it's not just about working in Kenya. You know, you want to expand your portfolio to be able to work in other countries that demand the same services.
All solutions are engineering. As much as they want to bring solution to this country and the universe, engineering is a platform which now transforms society to become the best.
The engineers note, as technology progresses, the job market requires a different skill set, and thus there should be periodic adjustments to suit these needs.
Yeah, so in the engineering spaces, you can see there are a lot of technologies coming up, so they shouldn't give up. They should just think and tap into new technologies that arise.
Hibak Said for Easy Friday.
The Scrap Metal Council is calling for amendment of the Scrap Metal Act 2015 to make it mandatory for all scrap dealers, including collectors and agents, to be registered and licensed by the council. Scrap Metal Council Chairperson Francis Mugo says the subsector needs further regulations to protect key infrastructure installations from vandalism. He made the remarks during a consultative meeting with Coast Scrap Dealers Association to find a lasting solution to the vandalism menace.
Tuko na ufahamu kama council, kuna watu wamekuwa wakismuggle vyuma nje ya nchi kinyume na sheria. Wanatumia mipaka ya Lungalunga na mipaka ile iko pale Busia na mpaka ule mwingine uko na Manga. Wamekuwa wakitumia hiyo mipaka kupeleka vyuma nje ya nchi bila kufuata sheria. So tunawaambia kuwa tunajua na tunakuja kwao muda ambao si mrefu. Na tukikupata, jambo la kwanza ambalo tunafanya, tunahakikisha kuwa tumekukamata, tumekushtaki, kisha baadaye tuna withdraw ile license yako ya kufanya biashara.
Ndio hii kazi iheshimike kama kazi nyingine yoyote ambayo unaweza kuingia kwa hardware, duka ya kuuza boga na vitu rejareja, iheshimike ndio tuonekane sote tuko katika kazi.
Economic policymakers face a challenge accessing reliable, credible and up-to-date economic data as they come up with development plans in Africa. Speakers at the 2023 African Econometric Society Conference highlighted the need for reliable economic statistics and related data, provided Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u decried the frustration that economic planning and management professionals face due to unreliable data.
The recognition for the need of adequate economists, statisticians, and even econometricians who are dependable and, more importantly, available on a timely basis is widespread regionally and internationally. And as a policymaker, I know how frustrating it is to work with scanty or stale data and evidence.
While AFC will continue strengthening the capacity of researchers
and graduate students in Africa, the consortium will gradually change its face toward knowledge generation in economics and policy impact and advocacy.
We need more research, we need more input to build the policies that can unleash these opportunities in Africa. I dare say we need more econometrics, people like you who looks at data-driven policies. We need more economic analysis to actually show the way forward in many countries.
I'm sure basic households use sugar. Here's some bad news for you. Sugar prices could remain high as licensed importers grapple with a global sugar shortage. According to a report by the Sugar Directorate, sugar imports dropped 85% to 14,034 metric tons in April.
Global sugar prices have surged to an 11-year high as large producers experience reduced cane production. Bad weather in Asia and South America has suppressed sugarcane production. In India, which is the second largest producer of sugar in the world, has restricted sugar export to cater for their domestic demand due to low rainfall in their sugar-producing regions. Brazil, which is the leading sugar producer globally, is also grappling with poor rains. This has seen the global white sugar price average $675.69 per ton, up from $586.92 ton in March. To cushion Kenyans against high prices, the government has given permits to importers to ship in 100,000 tons of zero-rated sugar to stabilize prices. However, according to the Sugar Directorate, only 14,000 metric tons of sugar was imported in April, an 85% drop from 93,880 in March. During the period under review, the landing cost of refined sugar averaged 79,571 shillings per ton, compared to 68,656 shillings per ton in March. The weighted ex-factory sugar price for April averaged 7,054 shillings per 50 kg bag, up 6% from 6,659 shillings per 50 kg bag in March. Benson Roba reporting for Easy Friday.
Time for us to take a breather. Of course, when we come back, Daniel Wahome is up next with sports.
The Policyholders Compensation Fund, PCF, is a state corporation under the National Treasury and Economic Planning that was established under the Insurance Act with the primary mandate of providing compensation to the claimants of an insurer placed under statutory management or whose license has been cancelled. It was established for the secondary purpose of creating confidence in the insurance sector. Policyholders Compensation Fund, dhamana ya bima yako.
Biggest odds in the world every day on selected matches. Make a decision. Mozart Bet.
Huchagui familia yako, ni zawadi ya Mungu kwako kama ulivyozawadi kwao. Iwapo unakohoa, unahisi uchungu kwenye kifua, uchovu kila wakati, joto jingi mwilini, unakosa hamu ya kula au kupoteza uzito haraka bila kukusudia na kutokwa na jasho jingi usiku, waweza kuwa waugua TB. Nenda hospitalini ukapimwe. Ikibainika ya kwamba ni TB, utapewa dawa, na ukimeza vizuri ulivyoshauriwa na daktari, utapona. TB yaweza kuangamiza jamii yako. Usikubali. Matibabu ni bila malipo katika hospitali zote za serikali.
Kupata maisha kama sikiza tuni yako, bonyeza *811 *816#.
Maisha ni mafupi, hivyo si vyema kumaliza muda mwingi katika malumbano. Hesabu baraka zako, wathamini rafiki zako na tabasamu ili udumishe amani.
Kupata maisha, bonyeza *811 *816#. *811 *816#.
the golden ticket. Mozart Bet Cup. 2 million shillings. CAF Confederations Cup. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet Cup.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. Now, sparks flew on Friday at the Rally Italia Sardinia as Esape Calapi demoted Sebastian Ogier in a gripping conclusion to Friday's opening leg, claiming the tiniest of overnight leads.
After one of the most daunting days thus far in this year's FIA World Rally Championships, where crews braved over 140 kilometers of rough gravel stages in changeable weather conditions, the dueling duo of Sebastian Ogier and Esape Calapi found themselves separated by a mere 1/10 of a second.
3 right long door, 50, 3 left door.
Ogier, contesting his 4th rally this year aboard a Toyota GR Yaris, started on the front foot and led by a seemingly comfortable 16.3 seconds at the day's halfway point, having blitzed his Finnish rival through the first pass of Montellino, a whopping 49.90 kilometers in length. But the Frenchman's advantage began to erode as the same 3 speed tests were repeated after lunch, and Lapi, charging hard in his Hyundai i20N, delivered the perfect response in Montellino 2, ultimately claiming the lead in the day's finale. Despite grappling with an intermittently functioning handbrake, Thierry Neuville fought his way up the leaderboard to make it 2 Hyundais in the top 3. The Belgian trailed Ogier by 18.5 seconds at close of play, with championship leader Kalle Rovanperä another 27.5 seconds behind. Rovanperä had entered the final stage down in 7th overall, but the wet conditions played to the Toyota Gazoo racing driver's favor and to his early starting position. He posted the benchmark time, climbing 3 positions in the process. Just 1.3 seconds behind was Takamoto Katsuta, who suffered a fright in the morning loop when he hit a rock after running wide in a left-hand bend. The mishap cost around 20 seconds and kept his Toyota mechanics busy in service. A front right puncher towards the end of Montellino left Elfyn Evans 18.2 seconds behind his teammate in 6th overall. He headed M Sport Ford's Ot Tanak, who overcame a failing water pump by 4.2 seconds. Saturday's leg boasts double runs of Koiluna Luel, 16.28 kilometers, Su Filigosu, 19.57 kilometers, Erula Tula, 21.92 kilometers, and Tempio Pausania, 9.04 kilometers. The 8 tests add up to 133.62 kilometers.
And just to inform you that tomorrow at 9 a.m. and at 4 p.m. we shall be giving you live runs of the Koiluna and Loel 1 and 2 runs of Rally Sardinia, Italy. And on Sunday, we've got the Sardinia Stage 1 at 9 a.m. And at 1 p.m., we've got the Wolf Power Stage, which is Sardinia 2. So do not miss those 2 stages. They're going to be live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner. Moving on is that the FIFA FKF Women's Football Development Campaign entered day 2 with FIFA representatives urging the young girls to focus on the sport, which may be their greatest source of income. The global program, which aims to increase female participation in football as well as foster the development of women and girls in the sport, will be spread countrywide after the launch in Nairobi. It will not only focus on nurturing young players, but will also be a platform to provide them with the necessary support and guidance to excel in football and pursue national team and professional opportunities in future. The campaign will be a long-term project that will be used to give a playing opportunity to every talented footballer.
I'm really looking forward to going around and watching the talent, because I believe there's some fantastic players in this group.
We will organize coaching. We will go to the deepest of deepest. We will encourage them. We will give them footballs. We'll go to the dusty pitches. We'll go to the best pitches. We'll go everywhere to find them. And in the next 12 years, many of us will not be here, but that is when they'll make our country shine.
Now, moving on is that three-time FKF Women's Premier League champions Thika Queens have vowed to bounce back next season after the team completed the just concluded 2023 campaign in 5th place.
Thika Queens wound up their 2023 season with 33 points, 19 points adrift of champions Vihiga Queens. The club had an impressive run during the first leg but appeared to lose steam as the league wore on, partly due to injuries to some of the key players, among them Rachel Mwema.
And knee injury, and it has really bring me down. I couldn't be able to play, couldn't be able to help my team. It has really break me down, but I'm going through with my therapy, and I'm going to get better.
We had so many draws, so that has led to us like to a place to go. Like for now, so many draws and some of the lose we need to make to a place to go.
Wendy Cheng, who this season switched from the defense to a forward and scored a total of 17 goals, emerging as the league's second top goal scorer, remarked that preparations will be key in the team's performance next season.
We had a lot of injuries and we also faced a lot of challenges, and we hope that coming next season we'll have a good preparation and as well plan very well and do better as we did this season. My team has really helped me achieve those goals. We've really worked hard in trainings, and also my coaches, the fans have also helped me achieve the goals, and I'm really happy for their support.
Wendy's season's exploits earned her a nomination in the forthcoming FKF Women Premier League Awards, where she'll vie for the Most Valuable Player Award again as Bunyore starlets Irene Madalina and Vihiga Queens Anita Namata.
It comes down to my team. It is not all about me, it's all about the team. And also I'm happy that we are recognized for our individual efforts. We don't take it for granted. We are happy for the ceremony that is organized by the FKF. So we just look forward to how it will go down.
Thika Queens have won the title 3 times, and their recent title came in 2020-2021 season.
Moving on is that world champion Faith Kipyegon will be competing in the 1,500 meter race tonight at the Rome Diamond League meeting. That's in Florence. Kipyegon, who missed out on the world record last season, still has her eyes on the time of 3 minutes 50.07 seconds held by Ethiopia's Genzebe Dibaba. In the 5,000 meters, Nicholas Kipkorir will line up against compatriot Jacob Krop. Commonwealth champion Ferdinand Omanyala will face off with world champion Fred Kerley of the US and Jamaica's Johan Blake in the 100 meter race. And on to another KBC Channel 1 product. Christopher Nkunku will be hoping to help holders Red Bull Leipzig defend their DFB Pokal when they take on Randall Kolomwani and Eintracht Frankfurt in the final tomorrow night at the Berlin Stadium. The match will be televised live on KBC Channel 1 from 9 p.m.
Berlin's Olympic Stadium, with first-choice goalkeeper Peter Gulakshi and striker Andre Silva the only definite absentees. Frankfurt bid to end a second successive season with the silverware, having won the UEFA Europa League last year.
League adventure to come in midweek.
Now, moving on is that English Premier League champions Manchester City will face local rivals Manchester United in the FA Cup final tomorrow evening at the Wembley Stadium.
Manchester City have won this season's Premier League and can add to their success if they beat Manchester United to claim the FA Cup tomorrow. Pep Guardiola's side hope to achieve a historical treble by beating United and moving a step closer with the Champions League final in sight on 10th of June when they square off against Inter Milan. The only English club to have won the treble was United when they won each of these trophies back in 1999. Manchester United hope to add a second trophy of the season under new management after manager Erik ten Hag helped them win the Carabao Cup. United also finished third in the English Premier League to secure Champions League football next season.
So that's the sport for tonight, but I will give you one more reminder. Tomorrow, bright and early at 9 a.m., Super Special 8, Koiluna, Loel 1, it's 16 kilometers, and this is at 9 a.m. This is Rally Italia Sardinia, and the second run of it will be at 4 p.m. immediately after game on. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., you're tuned to Rally Italia Sardinia, and on Sunday, Sardinia 1 at 9 a.m. and the Power Stage Plus, the podium of the Rally Italia Sardinia, 1.5 hours of live broadcast from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Actually, from 1:15 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. all live on KBC Channel 1. And we're just giving you a taste of what's coming from the 22nd to the 25th of June. Stay tuned to KBC Channel 1. We'll be giving you more details all about that. John Jacob Kioria, over to you.
The cup with the golden ticket. Mozart Bet Cup, 2 million shillings. CAF Confederations Cup. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet Cup.
Of course, as Daniel Home points out, that's the end of the broadcast. And indeed, there's quite an interesting match to watch tomorrow. Obviously, after you're done with KBC Channel 1 and all the sporting action we bring you tomorrow, then that action between the two Manchesters, Manchester United and Manchester City, it will be an interesting final to watch tomorrow. At that point, this is where we put a cap on Easy Friday. Have yourself a fantastic night ahead and indeed a good weekend. God bless you. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Our sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi.
There are just 2 teams left. The cup